Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Jules, here for WhatCulture Gaming, joined by the lovable hairpiece that is Josh Brown. And if we are together, it can mean only one thing. It's time for some news, so let's hit that jingle.
What's that? There's news? Oh my gosh! Guess it's time for Jules and Josh!
Brilliant! And we're back in the room.
Been so long.
I know, man. You almost think that your knees would recover from it, but they never do. Never do. And today what we're doing is we're talking about EA, or more specifically, about EA and their kind of warped view of the games industry. They finally released their financial budgets from last year or this quarter.
Last quarter, which was sort of from November-ish, September-ish. I don't know how quarters work, but the end of last year up until
fours, I assume.
In fours, yeah, probably. Yeah, up until now, and they have, apparently their stock has dived after they have announced disappointing and underwhelming sales across the board, but particularly with Battlefield 5. Their stock dropped, let me get this right, 13.3%, which lost them $3.7 billion in a single day. Which is not good, is it?
Now, we all know that there was some controversy surrounding the Battlefield 5 launch. Then we had the Battlefront 2 issues from before. Then we had some other stuff that was going on. It's not been a great couple of years for EA. But throughout all of this, they've held their head up high. And that has basically meant that it's gone all the way around and gone up their own arsehole, because they cannot see the wood for the trees at the moment, because they're making some weird, wild allegations at the moment. Disappointing sales. Yeah. But then they're blaming out on something else, aren't they?
Well, this is the thing. So the disappointing sales was that Battlefield 5 only sold 7.3 million copies in the space of this one quarter, when they wanted to sell around about 8. So it's about 1 million under performance. Underperformance? 1 million under performance? That's not a word. But yeah, it's 1 million under what they expected to sell, and they are blaming it on the fact that DICE focused on the single-player component and not Battle Royale, because as we all know, late last year the Battle Royale mode called Firestorm was delayed from launch until March, so it's still a month off actually coming out, and this is apparently one of the major factors as to why Battlefield 5 undersold.
Right, it's just one of those things that EA is just trying to use to curtail having to do any work on anything other than a multiplayer offering. Like, they wanted that Battle Royale mode in there straight away. Fine, Battle Royale, as much as we might sort of grin and bear it at the moment, it is still a thing. Yeah. It's a large, large thing, and they wanted to be part of the bandwagon for that. So, understandably, they'd be a bit miffed if they didn't have that in, especially when they saw Black Ops, what are we on now? Black Ops 4?
Black Ops 4 with Blackout.
Which did incredibly well, and lots of people are still playing that and saying it's great. But to say that it was because of the single-player focus when you marketed Battlefront 2 as having a single-player experience that was well worth playing and the price of admission, it seems that you cannot get it right, EA. They were gonna blame something no matter what, weren't they? They weren't just gonna grin and bear it and just say, oh, it was because of our really piss-poor marketing campaign, or the fact that it was.
Funnily enough, they do kind of mention that. I mean, obviously they don't put all the blame on that, but they went into a few more factors and said partly it was down to a poor start in marketing, and what else did they say? And the delayed November window, because obviously it got delayed a month for them to fix a few things, and they said that made it more competitive, and then the game went on sale, which made them less revenue overall, which apparently wasn't a good thing, but the main focus seems to be on the single player over the Battle Royale, which is kind of strange, right? Because, like you just said, Battlefront 1 shipped without a single player, and you imagine that would have cut some costs to allow the developers to get it out in time for Star Wars The Force Awakens, but then they added it in Battlefront 2, and maybe they just sort of thought that it didn't help Battlefront 2, even though the main problem people didn't like that game was because of all the microtransactions and loot boxes. Yeah. But I digress. I don't know.
It's really strange because they heavily marketed Battlefront 2 as having that single player to draw people in, and people actually did buy it in droves because of that. It was just the other stuff that turned people off. So what they're actually proving is single players as a selling point definitely do still hold weight. I mean, it definitely was better received than for. I mean, the campaign itself wasn't great, but it was still. It was still a feature, but it goes back to what Activision was saying before when they released those stats about how many people actually finish their Call of Duty single-player experiences, and it is remarkably low. And they then used that to say, right, in Black Ops 4, God, there's been so many of them, we're not going to do like a fully fledged single player mode, we're going to wrap this training mode up as a single player experience. So maybe this is EA basically just saying, look, guys, you're tired, we're tired, we've had enough of this, this carrot and pony or whatever the expression is.
Cart before the horse, pony, carrots.
A horse on another horse, whatever. That's just a different video. Like, we're gonna drop single player experiences from going forward. That's what I think that they're trying to say, but they're using this poor sales thing.
That's it, right? Because I would love to have seen the data, because these reports come from marketwatch.com and Ars Technica. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Ars Technica.
Ars Technica. I don't know.
Jesus, that sounds like something that your mother's dildo is.
Brilliant. So yeah, these reports come from that, but Blake Jorgensen didn't actually go into why he blamed the single player component for sort of leading to poor sales. So we don't have any actual data on that, except from what you said, and that's the fact that a lot of people don't actually finish games. But that doesn't necessarily mean people aren't buying them.
No.
I saw that last year only 22% of people who bought Red Dead Redemption 2 finished the actual campaign. But 25 million people have bought that game. It's sold 25 million copies, and it's like,
it doesn't relate to the actual sales at all. And the
No.
more sales you're making, of course, the percentage of people who will complete it goes down for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But my other thing is, whatever this guy Blake Jorgensen, Blake Jorgensen was saying, is it doesn't actually, his figures don't include the microtransactions rates.
No.
This is literally just a sales figure. This is not how much the marketplace has been making through ticking over from tiny little loot boxes and stuff like that. I believe that if you released that statement, we'd probably be singing a different tune, because I cannot imagine that they have been making not like a little bit of cash recently. They've been making money hand over fist. So to use this as a sort of, oh, woe is me, we're going to cut out the single player experiences because they're just taking too much time away from making the games that you want to play enjoyable. I don't know.
It's just the way they kind of spin the narrative of, oh, this is like good for you, you know what I mean? Like this will make us more money, it'll be quicker, you'll get more experiences that you actually want to play. And that's just, I don't know how you can possibly say that in a year where we saw like Red Dead Redemption, Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4, God of War, all of those great single-player games that sold really well and made their respective companies a lot of money. Obviously not as much money as FIFA Ultimate Team makes in a year, because that made about $800 million last year combined. As a repulsive amount of money, to be honest. But it's still a weird factor to try and push this narrative that single-player games are dead, or they actively hurt games. Now, maybe they do from a sure shareholder's perspective. But I don't know how, in this case, you can blame Battlefield 5's disappointment on the fact that they focused on single player and not necessarily the botched marketing at the beginning, all the way they've continued to kind of break the game since it came out, because even though I've really enjoyed it, I still play it quite a lot. They have introduced some questionable updates, like they increased the time to kill just before Christmas, and they've since changed it, but they said that was to encourage new players to keep on playing, because they went for this new hardcore mode where it took less time to get killed and you had to conserve your ammo, and apparently new players weren't kind of buying into that and picking it up and getting killed and being like, well, I'm done with this. But obviously, by changing it, you neither attracted those new players or you satisfied the people
you're
already
alienating the people that have been Battlefield like fans for life. I mean, one of the things that you know, if you pick up a Battlefield game, it's not meant to be like Call of Duty. Like, the whole point was that it is harder. It is there is like, you will die quicker. You need to work with your squad more. So basically changing that and saying, oh, actually, the kids don't like that, do they? Don't like a bit of challenge.
It's like the flippy flop on it, because obviously they changed it, and then about a couple of weeks later, they went back on it and changed it back to how we all enjoyed it in the first place. So it's just been a weird flippy flop development process on this game, and there are a lot of factors which no doubt led to audiences being burnt by it and people being disappointed, and then they've said it's this reason and a couple others. But it's disappointing. But they did reaffirm that Anthem is expected to sell 5 to 6 million copies in its first quarter. So I guess we'll see how that goes. And they said Respawn's Jedi Fallen Order is definitely coming out this year. So we got some things to look forward to.
Well, the thing is as well, is like, if we come across as snarky about this, it's not. I mean, as Josh was saying, he's a huge Battlefield fan. Like, I've played Battlefront 2 still quite a fair bit. Like, I will support EA because they do have kind of good games sometimes.
Apex Legends,
like, and everyone out there who's just saying, oh, you know, screw EA, get him off, ship him on a boat. I don't know what, like, get him away. Then we have to remember that FIFA still sells by the bucket loads. You know what I mean? Like, we can only speak with our wallets.
Yeah, that's true. That's the thing. Yeah, you can only speak with your wallets, and I suppose But then again, they didn't even listen because people might have spoken with the walls for Battlefield 5, and then it's like, oh, it's the single player's fault. Let's not even acknowledge that.
So does that mean then that Battlefield 6, when that inevitably comes out, that's going to have no single player, or have 4 maps, because the rest will be in the season pass, and it will be set in World War I still.
Yeah, back.
But it will be in even more obscure battles and not feature any of the main big battles that we all do actually want to see repeated.
I don't know. I really don't know what they're going to do with this information, because it seems like they fully believe that this is a problem, and although they tried to take it out with Battlefront 1, they put it back in with Battlefront 2, and they kind of doubled down on it with Battlefield 5 and 1. So now I don't know whether they just kind of pulled up their hands entirely and just start cutting it out of everything. It seems like they're going that way with the obviously the Star Wars games they've worked on. They didn't want Amy Hennig and Visceral Games' game because that was a single player focus, and they wanted something that was more of a live experience that could make the money on the long form. So they might just, you know, hang up the hats and be like, we're done in the single player game. This isn't working for us. This is not what we want to do. And like, of course they can do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether that's good for the industry as a whole, especially when they own such great IPs. Like you said, they've got Star Wars, they've got Battlefield, they've got others. Dead Space. Where is Dead Space?
Oh, don't even get me started on that. No. Anyway, so that's the news. EA is basically just walking around pretending its farts don't stink. But let us know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. Is it a bit whiffy? And as always, I've been Jules. You can follow me at RetroJ with a 0.
I've been Josh. You can follow me at Josh Brune with 2 O's.
I never get tired of hearing you say that.
I hate explaining it.
And as always, you have been awesome. We will speak to you soon. But until then, bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, was I meant to harmonise?
I don't know.
3, 2, 1. Bye!